It's 1 a.m. when my phone buzzes, the sudden sound cutting through the silence of my apartment. I glance at the screen, half expecting it to be spam, but it's from Jake. Mike, we need to talk about Christmas. Katie has everything planned, and she feels it's better if you don't come this year. I stare at the words, disbelief mixing with an icy knot in my gut. My thumb hovers over the screen as my mind reels. How the hell did this happen? I've spent years keeping her family afloat, paying off their debts, working overtime, bailing them out when their crap hit the fan. And this is how they repay me? I'm suddenly on the outside, not even welcome for Christmas? Another message comes through. Jake again. Katie says your presence might make things awkward. She's invited some high-profile people from her firm. You know how these things go? Hope you understand. My grip tightens around the phone. The frustration hits like a punch. I was the one holding everything together, and now this. I feel the questions swarm my mind. How did it get to this point? How did I end up the outsider? Why is it always me doing the heavy lifting and not them? What happened to family? I clench my jaw, staring at the cold screen in the dark. This isn't just about Christmas anymore. It's about the years of being taken for granted. It's about all the times I let them walk all over me. It's time for that to end. I sit there for a few minutes, phone still in my hand, trying to make sense of the mess. But the more I think about it, the more my mind drifts back. Back to when I saved the damn family home. I was working 2 jobs then, barely sleeping. After Jake's business fell apart, it was on me to fix things. He'd put their whole future in jeopardy, and my parents were too deep in debt to get themselves out. $400,000 they needed, and I didn't hesitate. I emptied my savings, sold the properties I'd worked years to build up, and handed them the cash. Katie, of course, was all gratitude. "You're our rock, Mike," she said, like it was some grand compliment. They all promised they'd repay me, like I was just some charity they could lean on. But now, those promises are hollow, just words, empty. I close my eyes, trying to push back the images of all the family dinners, where I was the quiet one, the one who paid for everything, the meals, the gifts, the trips, while they all pretended it wasn't a big deal. Every time I looked around, I was invisible. It was always, "Mike's got it," like I was a walking bank. No thanks, no acknowledgement, just, "You're our rock," and a smile, like I didn't mind picking up the pieces every damn time. And here I am now, sitting in my own apartment, hours away from yet another slap in the face. Jake and Katie? They've already decided Christmas without me is better for them. They're done pretending. I punch my fist into the couch cushion, the frustration flooding me all over again. I'm done. Not just with Christmas, but with all of it. I've been their financial safety net for too long. No more. This whole thing with the house. It's the last thread of control I've got left. 6 months ago, I had the foresight to draw up a contract. A solid, airtight contract. One that made sure I wasn't going to be screwed over again. If they couldn't buy the house from me, they'd have to pay rent. It was my way of making sure I wouldn't be the one left holding the bag when they messed up again. I pull up that contract on my laptop. I can almost feel the weight of that decision, but right now, it feels like the only thing that's kept me sane. Maybe the only thing that'll finally show Katie and Jake that I'm not their fallback anymore. I sit back, scrolling through the document. My phone buzzes again, Katie this time. "Mike, I know this Christmas situation is tough, but we can do lunch next week. I'll make sure it's not as intense." I laugh, a bitter chuckle that feels like it's coming from somewhere far away. Intense. That's what she called it when I'd pointed out her irresponsibility before. Intense, like I was the one being unreasonable when I got fed up. Like I was the one overreacting. No, this isn't about Christmas. This is about me not letting them walk all over me anymore. I don't even think twice. I grab my phone, tap out a quick message to my lawyer. It's time to send the papers. I open my laptop and pull up the contract. It's exactly as I left it 6 months ago. The language is tight, no room for negotiation. If they don't buy the house from me at market value, they start paying rent. A number that reflects both the value of the property and the mess they've created in my life. I'd made sure there was nothing left to chance. The terms were clear. They'd have to face the reality of my decisions, just like I had to face theirs. Back then, I'd told them this was how it would go, but they didn't take me seriously. They thought I was bluffing. They didn't think I'd ever follow through. Well, here we are. The weight of betrayal sits heavy in my chest, but at least I feel justified now. I made sure I wouldn't be stuck in their web again. Now, I can finally make them pay for their inaction. I'm done holding everything together for them. My phone buzzes again, pulling me from the screen. It's from Katie this time, her name flashing on the screen. I don't even have to read it fully to know what it is. Some weak attempt at damage control. Mike, I know this Christmas situation is tough, but we can do lunch next week. I'll make sure it's not as intense. I let out a short, bitter laugh. Intense. She's always used that word, always acted like I was the one being difficult when I called her out on her bullshit. It's the same tired line she always falls back on when the consequences of her spending habits or poor choices come up. Intense. Like it's my fault for not letting her get away with it. I think about all the times I've stayed quiet, the times I've let things slide for the sake of keeping peace. Not anymore. This isn't just about Christmas. It's about me finally drawing a line. It's about showing Katie and her family that there are real consequences to their actions. They can't just keep taking and taking from me. I've been the safety net, the reliable one, but now it's time for me to stop being the fall guy. I grab my phone and, without hesitation, fire off a quick message to my lawyer. Send the papers. It's time for them to face the music. I pick up the phone and dial Ben's number. He answers after 2 rings, sounding groggy, like I've pulled him out of some much-needed sleep. Mike, everything okay? Yeah, I need you to start the eviction process, right now. There's a pause on the other end. Ben isn't stupid. He knows this isn't a typical call. You want to do this now? Not after the holidays? He asks, his voice surprised. Now, I reply, my tone colder than I expect. I've given them 6 months. There's another silence, but this one is thicker. Ben knows I'm not kidding, but he's still processing it. I can almost hear the wheels turning in his head. Okay, I'll get the paperwork started. He sounds resigned, like this is one of those things he's been expecting but hoping wouldn't happen. I'll send it over for your signature as soon as it's ready. Thanks. I hang up before he can say anything else. I sit back in my chair, the weight of it all settling on me, but I don't feel the relief I thought I might. Instead, a cold anger churns in my gut. This is the point of no return. I've set everything in motion, and there's no way to undo it now. I open another folder on my computer. It's labeled Evidence, and I've been gathering it for months. Inside are screenshots, photos, and financial records. Proof of every damn time Katie and Jake took advantage of me. The credit card bills I covered for Jake's failed ventures. The wire transfers to bail them out of financial mess after mess. The countless promises that they'd pay me back, that they'd be there for me. All lies. I scroll through it all, my anger building with every file I click open. Each piece is a reminder of how much I sacrificed, how much I gave, and how little it meant to them. Jake's fraudulent business deals, Katie's reckless spending, their refusal to take any responsibility. They've taken everything from me, and now I'm taking it back. I pull up the legal letter I started drafting months ago. It's harsh, but it's also fair. They'll have 30 days to either buy the house from me or start paying rent. If they don't comply, they're out. Simple, clean. I type up the final details, making sure everything is in order. The words feel final, irrevocable. I hit send, it's done. I've made my choice. It might cost me my family, but they've already cost me everything. And as the email flies off into the world, I realize there's no going back now. The morning after, my phone buzzes nonstop. I can't even finish my coffee before the messages start flooding in. Jake, Katie, my mother-in-law, they're all frantic. Jake's text comes first. Mike, why the hell are you doing this? What the hell happened? Katie follows immediately with a message that's borderline hysterical. Mike, please, you're ruining Christmas. This is too much. Please, we can fix this. I glance at the screen, unreadable. I've heard it all before. Their panic, their guilt trips, the emotional manipulation. I set my phone down, letting it buzz away on the table while I sip my coffee, the warmth of it doing nothing to ease the sharpness in my chest. I've spent so many years cleaning up after them, making excuses, swallowing my own anger. Now, they get to feel the consequences. Another buzz. I pick it up. It's Jake calling. I hit accept, and his voice comes through, frantic. Mike, you can't do this. What the hell is wrong with you? We'll lose everything. The house, the business, everything. You're throwing us under the bus. I lean back in my chair, steadying myself. I let the words hang in the air for a second, feeling that cold, satisfying weight of having drawn the line. It's too late for that, I say, my voice calm, like I'm talking to a stranger. You had 6 months. You've known this was coming. No more excuses. There's a pause, and I hear Jake's breath catch, like he's processing it. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. But it passes quickly. Mike, please, he starts again, but I cut him off. No, I'm done. I hang up before he can say anything else. I don't feel relief. I don't feel satisfaction. Instead, there's this hollow weight in my chest. I did what I needed to do. I set boundaries finally. I'm not their backup anymore. But even now, with everything set in motion, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I stare at my phone for a moment, the unanswered text sitting there, a reminder that there's no going back. I picture the scene at their house, the guests arriving, dressed to the nines, the high-profile business associates Katie's been so desperate to impress, the spread of expensive food, the sparkling wine, the perfect Christmas dinner they've spent months planning. In the background, chaos is erupting. The papers have been delivered, just like I told my lawyer to do. Right when they're sitting down for the fancy dinner, the papers come crashing through the door like a wrecking ball. No smooth delivery, no easy conversation. Just a cold reminder of the reality they've been ignoring. I can almost hear the shock as the words sink in. They've been living in my house, relying on me for everything, pretending everything's fine. Now, everything's unraveling in front of their guests. I pick up my phone. A message from Katie pops up. Her words are jagged, frantic. Mike, how could you do this to us? To me? I don't even flinch. I tap the screen, sending a quick response. You don't get to decide when I'm done. The phone rings immediately. Katie's voice crackles on the other end, choked with emotion. Mike, you ruined everything. We were just trying to have a nice Christmas. I lean back in my chair, feeling a strange sense of power. The phone in my hand doesn't feel like a lifeline anymore. It's a tool, a reminder of everything I've put up with, everything I've sacrificed for them. And now, I'm done. Christmas was never about you, I say. The words taste like something bitter and final on my tongue. You've had your time, I've had mine. There's a long pause on her end, and when she speaks again, I can tell she's trying to hold herself together, but she can't. Mike, please don't do this. You're making things so much worse. We can fix this. I can fix it. Just come back. Her voice cracks, but it doesn't get to me. For the first time in a long time, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like I have to smooth things over, make excuses. I've been fixing everything for years, Katie. You don't get to decide when I'm done. I am. I hang up before she can respond. My chest is tight, but not with regret. It's the tightness of knowing I've done something necessary, something that needed to happen for a long time. I lean back, staring out at the city through my window. The storm is unfolding at their dinner table, and I'm not there to stop it. But I don't feel bad about it. Not anymore. I've made my choice. Even if it costs me my family, it's the right one. With everything set in motion, I decide it's time to get away. I need a break. I've been tied up in this mess for so long, drowning in their problems, and it's time to breathe. The Caribbean. Warm water, no drama, no phones buzzing every 10 minutes. Just peace. As I board the plane, my phone buzzes one last time. I pull it out, knowing exactly who it is before I even look. My mother-in-law. Please come back, Mike. We can fix this. I laugh quietly to myself, shaking my head. Fix this? She doesn't get it. I've been the one fixing everything for years, bending over backward, keeping their world from falling apart. But not anymore. I'm done. I drop the phone into the seat pocket in front of me, the buzzing fading into the background as I settle into my seat. The flight attendants start their usual routine, but I barely register it. My mind is already somewhere else, somewhere calm, somewhere that isn't filled with the sound of desperate pleas or the weight of their expectations. The plane begins to taxi, and the thought crosses my mind that this flight is more than just a physical journey. It's a symbol. For the first time in a long time, I'm not carrying the weight of everyone else's mistakes. I'm not the one holding everything together. I'm finally doing something for myself. The plane lifts off the ground, the city below shrinking as we climb higher, and I watch it all fade away. The chaos, the guilt, the endless family drama, it's all behind me now, falling away like the buildings below. I lean back in my seat, my muscles slowly relaxing as the steady hum of the plane fills the cabin. I feel a shift inside me, a release, like something heavy is finally being lifted from my shoulders. I've made the right choice. No more compromises. No more living in their shadow. The calm of the ocean ahead of me is the perfect metaphor for this new chapter. I'm finally free. And this time, I'm not looking back. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting on the balcony of my rental, the sun dipping below the horizon when my phone rings. It's my mother-in-law. I almost don't pick it up, but I do because I know what's coming. Mike, her voice is tight, like she's been holding something in for days. I need to tell you what's happened. I wait, letting her words hang in the air, my stomach already tightening in anticipation. Everything's falling apart, she continues. Katie's business deals have tanked. Her reputation has taken a huge hit after that meltdown in front of her boss and his wife. And Jake, well, Jake's got no way out of this. Your father-in-law is furious. They're all finally seeing the mess they've made. I let the silence settle between us for a moment, knowing exactly what she wants. She's hoping I'll come back, that I'll fix it all again. I'm not coming back, Mom, I say, my voice even. Not unless you're ready to face the reality of what's happened. She sighs, the sound barely audible. We need you, Mike. They're all waking up to the mess they've made. Please, can we at least talk? A family meeting? I sit back, thinking for a moment. Part of me wants to hang up, to leave it all behind. But I know the family dynamic won't change unless I make them face what they've done. All of them. So I agree, but I lay down the only condition that matters. I'll come, I say, but on my terms. I'm not fixing things for you anymore. I'm not the one holding everything together. If you want to talk, it's time for you all to take responsibility. She agrees quickly, the relief in her voice palpable. The day of the meeting, I walk into my parents-in-law's house, every step heavier than the last. The tension is thick in the air. Katie, Jake, and my father-in-law are sitting at the table, their faces a mix of guilt, anger, and frustration. I take my seat, folding my arms, watching them all squirm a little. Katie opens her mouth first, her eyes bloodshot, like she's been crying for days. Mike, we didn't know how bad it was. We didn't think things would spiral like this. Yeah, well, I cut in. I've been telling you for years, but you never wanted to listen. I look at Jake, and then my father-in-law. You're all awake now? Good. It's about damn time. The conversation that follows isn't a quick fix. It's messy. There's a lot of yelling, a lot of blaming, but this time, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to make them feel better. I'm here to make them understand that this is on them, and only them. I set my terms, clear and final. I'll help rebuild, but I'm not giving you any more money. No more loans, no more handouts. You want to fix this? You all have to work for it. I'm not your fallback anymore. For the first time, they can't hide from the truth. They don't get to sweep it under the rug. When I walk out of that meeting, there's no weight in my chest, no guilt. I've done the right thing, and for the first time in years, I feel a sense of peace. I've set the boundaries that should have been set a long time ago, and now it's on them to fix their own mess. And this time, I'm not holding the shovel. A week later, I invite my in-laws to my place. It's not a gesture of goodwill, it's the next step. I've set the terms, and now it's time to see if they're willing to meet them. Katie, Jake, and my father-in-law walk through the door, looking deflated. Their eyes are downcast, their shoulders heavy with the weight of everything that's gone wrong. Katie's the first to speak, her voice thin, apologetic. Mike, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much damage I was causing. To the family, to my career. I was so blinded by my own problems that I couldn't see how much I was hurting everyone. I nod, letting her words hang in the air. It's the first time I've heard any of them truly own up to their actions. For years, they've avoided responsibility, blaming anyone and everything except themselves. This is a start. I look at them, eyes steady. This isn't about apologies. It's about what happens next. Jake shifts uncomfortably in his chair, but he doesn't interrupt. He knows the stakes now. My father-in-law keeps his gaze low, but I can tell he's processing everything in his own way. The anger from earlier has settled into something quieter, something almost like acceptance. I've come up with a few options, I say, pulling out a folder of documents from my desk. You can sell the house. It's the easiest way to clear up the debt and start fresh. Or, if you want to keep it, I'll help you rebuild your finances. But no more handouts. You'll have to work for it, and I mean work. No more of this mess. Katie's face tightens, but she holds her tongue. She knows this is the only real choice she has left. And finally, I continue, Katie, you're going to need help. I've found a compulsive spending treatment program. It's not going to be easy, but it's the only way for you to get a handle on this before it destroys everything else. There's a long silence as they digest what I've said. Jake's the first to break it, his voice hesitant but sincere. We'll do whatever it takes, he says, glancing at Katie, who nods, her eyes filled with something close to regret. We'll follow through, I promise. I meet their gazes, making sure they understand the weight of their words. This is on you now. I'm not fixing this anymore. If you want a chance to rebuild, you'll have to do the hard work. Katie speaks next, her voice steady for the first time. We'll sell the house, she says quietly, but with resolve. We'll start fresh together, and I'll go into the program. I know I need help. I look at them, all of them finally facing the consequences of their choices, and I feel something shift. It's not forgiveness, but it's the start of something real. The future is still uncertain. I'm not fooling myself into thinking everything will be smooth from here on out. But for the first time, they're taking responsibility for their actions. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not carrying them. It's their turn now. And for me, I'm ready to take the next step.